Good morning, everyone. So in the last class, we are trying to focus with some of the multi-level hierarchy here. So here, what exactly we are doing here? If you observe, so whenever we are trying to extend from these particular classes, what we are doing here, we are getting the features of the particular superclass here. And so if you go through this particular box weight class, what are the features we are having? So you can see these many constructors we implemented in the last class. So using the subclass reference of this particular shipment, what we are going to do, we are able to access the superclass features using this particular super keyword here. And along with this, now what we are going to do, we are having the option to call the particular, so one more superclass that is called box class. So from the box class, so the box weight is extended. From the box weight, it's extended shipment. So if you observe carefully, inside the shipment class, we are able to access all the information, all the information. So this is very important here. So how we are trying to access the superclass features into the subclass. Okay. Now, one more example I want to show you how exactly the constructors are calling internally. So let's see, to work on the constructor calling, what we can do, we'll try to create a one class here, something called constructor A. So inside this particular constructor A, I'm not going to add anything. I'm not going to add anything. So we are going to make only default constructor. We're going to make only default constructor. Inside the default constructor, what exactly I am doing here? So I'm trying to print a message here. Inside, so inside this particular constructor A, constructor is calling. Same way, what I will do, I will try to create one more class here, constructor B. And whenever I'm calling this particular constructor, inside this particular constructor, now this particular constructor is going to extend from the constructor A. So I'm going to create a one more class here. So constructor C. So inside this particular constructor, constructor C, constructor. Right. This class is going to extend from the constructor B. The B already extended. So still we are trying to discuss the multi-level hierarchy concept here. And after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a main method. Right. So inside the main method, simply I'm going to create a object of this particular constructor C. Getting the point. I'm not doing anything here. So we'll try to save all the classes. What exactly it's doing here? So carefully observe here. Even though we are calling this particular C class constructor, but first is executed which class constructor? A class constructor. Getting the point? So whenever we are trying to extending any class, first is giving an option to execute the super class functionality. Getting the point? So later is trying to execute the subclass functionality. So this is very important here. First is given option to superclass constructor that is called constructor A. So this is nothing but the constructor chaining internally, how exactly it is calling. So this is also very important here. And we'll go for the method overriding. So how exactly this method overriding is, it will work here. So basically the method overriding here. So in the superclass, we are going to have the one method, and in the subclass, we are going to create the same name of the method name, as well as the signature also same. Getting the point? So whenever we are going to create the same name in the subclass, so this particular concept we are going to call as a method overriding. So we'll see how exactly this overriding is going to work here. And whenever we are creating this particular method overriding, what exactly it's going to happen? The superclass methods are going to hidden. Getting the point? So we'll try to check with the same example inside this particular, so constructor A and constructor B. Right. Now inside this particular constructor B, what I'm doing here? Simply I want to call the one method called show. Getting the point? And so we'll try to provide I comma j. So inside this particular method, the method name, what is I'm taking here? Something called show method. So inside this particular show method, I want to print ij values here. So simply, sorry, ij. I'm saving this particular constructor B class. So I'm going to copy the same method into the constructor C. And here we don't have the ij. I want to use only k here. I want to use only k here. So to work on this, what exactly we can do? Getting the point. Now, so if you observe carefully, inside this particular constructor, I'm going to create a one more constructor here into j. This dot j is equals to j. Right. Now, the same constructor, what I'm going to do? Inside this particular constructor, constructor C, I'm going to add into I comma j comma into k. So we'll call I comma j. Right. This dot k is equals to k. This dot k is equals to k. Getting the point. So this is the way we are going to work with one more constructor, and so we need to focus on the more on this particular method here. If we observe in the same method is available in the particular constructor B, the same method I'm going to create it in the constructor C. Right. Now, so here I'm going to use the parameterized constructor to work on this particular, to call the parameterized constructor. After calling this, so whenever I'm going to call this particular show method, we'll observe, so which one is going to execute here, because we are having two methods. Getting the point? So carefully observe here, the k value is printing. Inside the constructor here it's calling, because only from the B class constructor is going to execute the A class constructor, and later is trying to back to the B class, and the values are initialized here, and after this, whatever the method we are calling, the method is executing here. But if you carefully observe which method is executing, so that is called the constructor C class method only executed here, not from the B class. So that is the reason I am explaining here. So whenever we are trying to create a method overriding concept here, the super class method is going to hide here. Getting the point? And with the same parameter, whenever we are trying to create the method with the same parameter, then only the method is going to override here. Okay, so we'll observe, if we want to call the superclass method, what we can do. So as we identified, whenever we are calling, the subclass method is calling. But even though we want to show superclass method, to call this, what we can do, so we need to use this particular keyword called super.show. Super.show. And observe here, so now you can observe the default constructor A is calling, and later the ing values we are getting, and later the k values printing. So because of this particular super, what we are doing here, we are going to call the superclass method. Getting the point? And so I want to show you one more example here. So that is nothing but, so whenever we are having so different method, this method having something called, so this method having some information here. So if you observe carefully what I am explaining here, whenever we are trying to overriding any method, we need a same name, and the signature of the method also same. Signature of the method is nothing but, so type of the parameter and order of the parameter also. So it needs to match here. But carefully observe, in the superclass, we are having the show method. It's not taking any parameter. Right. Come back to the subclass here. What we are doing here, we are trying to specify the one parameter information. So this, in this scenario, so this particular show method, it's not overridden here. It's not overridden here. So again, we can see this is the overloading concept. The name of the method is same, but type of the parameters are different. Getting the point? So this is comes under the overloading concept. So now the same method, sorry, if I'm going to run the same example, so carefully observe here, which one is executing here? ing values we are getting. Why this method is not executing? So because is expecting one parameter here. The parameter we did not pass as of now. Getting the point? So that's the reason. So what it will do, whenever we are creating any object, first it's going to check in the same class. If it is not found, it will try to check in the super class. So even though we are working with a subclass reference, we are calling the method. The method is not available in the subclass. So using the subclass reference, what is happening here? We are going to call the superclass method. So something called the constructor B show method is executed here. So you can see inside this our console, ing values we are getting. The ing values are coming from this. Getting the point. So this is very important here. Right. Now we'll try to check with one more example. So to same on this particular method overriding here. And basically what I want to like provide information here. Okay, we are having how many classes we are having? We are having the three classes, something called constructor A, constructor B, and constructor C. Okay, now what exactly I'm going to do here? So basically, if I'm going to create constructor A is equals to I'm creating three objects here. So constructor B is equals to new constructor B, and okay, I want to copy same without this particular parameterized constructor. And so we will observe here how many objects we created. We are creating three objects here. Getting the point. After creating this particular three objects here, now what I'm doing here, I'm going to make so reference of this particular constructor A, something called R. Getting the point. So the reference I'm going to use, and if you observe carefully, now what I'm doing here, after creating this particular reference here, R is equals to A. R is equals to A. What I'm doing here, whatever the A object we are having, I am assigning into the particular reference called R. Getting the point. So if I'm going to call okay, so let me create a method in this particular class also. Here what we can do, constructor A class show method is call. Okay, and if we go back to here again, I'm calling show method. So one more, R is equals to B, and the same R dot show. Finally, so R is equals to C. Okay, C we don't have. Right, and again I'm calling R dot show. So these are the three reference, is nothing but three objects are we created. So using the three object here, now by changing the reference of the object, we are calling the method here. So if I'm going to run the same example, carefully observe here. So how exactly it is calling here? So initially, directly the A class constructor is called. When we are calling the B class constructor, so when we are calling this particular constructor, only one constructor is called, that is called this first one. Right. When we are calling this particular constructor B, what happened here? So these two constructors are called because so that we have identified. So it's going to give the option to execute the superclass constructor. So because of that, A class constructor is executed. Later, the B class constructor is executed. And come back to here, this particular constructor C. What we are doing here? we are creating, so these three constructors are calling. And if we observe carefully, whenever we are calling r.show, whenever we are calling this particular r.show, which method is executing? So that is nothing but the superclass method is executed. Why it is not executed? This particular constructor C. Okay. So let me change this method because we need to make same here. Okay, carefully observe here. Again, I'm trying to run the same example. You can observe here, even though the superclass constructor show method is executed here because of reference, because this is a superclass, it cannot identify. So what is a subclass? So which class is implemented, which class is extended? Getting the point. So they cannot identify the, so that's the reason directly it's going to call the whatever the class we are working here. And so check with the one more here, the r.b, sorry, r is equals to b, the b class reference we are assigning into the r class. So when we are calling r.show, so instead of calling the superclass, what is doing here? The constructor b show method is executed, and the ing values we are getting 0. Getting the point. And same way, when we are like reassigning the constructor C object into the particular R variable, now whenever we are calling r.show, the subclass method, something called this method is executing. So basically, based on the reference, the calling is changing here, but only whenever we are working with the subclass. So at this time, first is going to check the subclass. If it is not found, it's going to check with the superclass. But whenever we are creating the like three object like this, based on the object reference, so directly it's calling the same method. It is not calling any subclass or superclass method. So this is I want to explain here. Any questions regarding this particular method overriding concept? No? Okay. So carefully observe here. So we'll try to check with one more example using the some real-time scenarios example here. So to work on that, what I need to do, I want to create a few more classes here. So to work on this particular method overriding, what I'm doing here, so I'm trying to create a one class called figure, and it is having two values. Right. And we are going to have the parameterized constructor. So dim2. And what I'm doing here, dim1 and dim2 I'm adding here. Right. After this, I'm going to create one method called area. Right. So this method, so area for this particular method is for this class is undefined, and simply I want to return. So 0, and let me save this class. I want to create one more class here. What is the name of the class? rectangle I am going to create here. Okay, so this particular rectangle is going to extend from the figure. So what happened here? Let me save all the classes here. So we'll see, basically we does not have any default constructor, so that's the reason. So if we are getting some error here to create the constructor, we'll create the constructor here. Right, now what I'm doing here, I'm calling the superclass constructor here, and after that again I'm trying to implement the same method called area. So here what I'm doing here basically area of rectangle, and return what I can do, so dim1 into something called 2. This is the second class here, something called rectangle. Now I'm going to create one more class here. So the last class here I'm creating triangle here. So triangle is extended from the figure. So we'll try to create the constructor of this particular triangle, and later what I'm doing here, the same method I'm trying to override. So inside this TRI inside the area of triangle, return something, some value I'm trying to return here. But if you observe carefully, so here the rectangle is extending from the figure, and the triangle also extending from the figure. So basically if the triangle is extending from the rectangle, so that is we have already identified different multi-level inheritance. So this is the one more concept I want to share here. And if we observe, okay, let me create one more class for our main class. How we can create here something called figure triangle. Okay, so this is our main class I'm creating here. And now I want to specify, so 10 comma 10, and one more class I'm creating here, rectangle here, something 9 comma 5, and the triangle I'm creating here, something 10 comma 8. So these are the three constructors I'm creating here. These are the three constructor here. And what I can do, one more I'm creating here. The same thing we are going to check here. Right. FR is equals to FIZ and what I can do, simply fr dot area, and again fr is equals to rec fr dot area. Okay. Finally, fr is equals to tri. So these are the three information I want to share here. So whenever we are going to run this example, so we'll see how exactly it's printing here. So this is the super class, something called figure class method is executed, and something called the rectangle, and inside the triangle. So this is the something called, so in the normal day-to-day activities we are going to use this kind of example. It's like a mathematic related example. We can work like this here. Getting the point. So this is also one kind of the inheritance concept here, but now based on the particular object reference, the values are, the method calling is changing here, and if we observe carefully, we don't have anything. So directly if I'm going to call, so inside the triangle we are getting, and inside the triangle, if I'm not defining this method, where it will go? If I'm not defining this particular method, so we'll see how exactly these methods are calling. You can observe the superclass method is executing or not. Getting the point. So this is the way we can work with, based on the object reference, the method is going to call, and here if the method is not available in the particular class, is going to check with the superclass method. If in the superclass method also not found, we are going to get compilation error. Getting the point. So these are about the method overriding concept here. But now, so I'm going to cover one more example here, something called abstract classes. So this is also very important here. Basically, in the superclass, what we are doing here, we are defining some information. So those information we are able to access here. But so instead of defining what exactly we are doing here, so we don't want to like implement those information inside the superclass. So we want to define the information. So initialization is different, and definition is like defining is different here. So initialization is nothing but what exactly we are doing here. So we'll check in the figure class. So we are trying to like implement this particular area method. Getting the point. So instead of implementing this particular area method, so when we can declare the one area method, the same method wherever we require, we can implement this particular method. So we'll see how exactly we can achieve this particular declaration information. So using the abstract classes here, right? Now, what exactly we are going to use here? So it's like a structure of the class information we are going to create in the super class, and the class we are going to make as a abstract, so that so whenever the compiler is identified, so this particular class, it has to be override with some subclasses here to create the some specific functionality. Getting the point. So to create the specific functionality, if we observe the simple example how exactly I'm going to create here. So using this particular abstract class, ABS A. So ABS is nothing but abstract class A I'm creating here. And inside this particular abstract class, okay, we'll see how we can make here. And the method call me. Whenever we are making this particular class, getting the point. So we are having two options here. You can see this is nothing but just we are defining the method. So this is very important here. Defining the method is different and implementation of method is different. If the implementation method will look like this, and the definition of this particular method, it's going to look like this. So just what we are doing here, we are trying to declare the method. So this particular implementation, it's going to happen in the subclass classes. Getting the point. So this is the way we are going to work with the abstract method here. Whenever in any class, one abstract method will have the class we need to make as a abstract. The class we need to make as a abstract here. So that is I'm doing here. So carefully observe, once we define this particular class method, so along with this particular method, we are going to have one more method. And here, so we are having one advantage is here. Whenever we are trying to create a abstract method, along with the abstract method, we can create the normal methods also here. So that is I want to share here something called, this is a concrete method we are going to call. This is the concrete method. Now, so once we create this particular abstract class A, what I'm doing here, I'm going to create a one more class here, something called ABSB. And this particular ABSB is going to extend from the ABSA. Right. So whenever this class is extended, now you can observe if I'm going to put the cursor on this particular class level, we are going to have an error here. So we'll see what is showing here. The type of ABS B must be implement the inherited abstract method, or what we can do, make this particular type of ABS as a abstract. So this is nothing but, so either we are going to have an option called implement the particular abstract method, or we can make this particular class abstract. Getting the point. So we'll try to implement this particular method, something called call. So call me. The call me we implement, we defined inside the class call ABSCA. So it's like a one abstract method. It's like a one abstract method. The same abstract method we implemented in the particular class ABSB. It's like a override call me. Now you can define what you want to provide the information. Getting the point. So what I want to explain here, using this particular abstract, so what exactly we are going to do, whatever the common functionality we are going to define in the particular abstract class. So those information, if we need any specific class, what we are going to do, we are going to extend the particular abstract class, and we'll try to override the specific methods. Getting the point. So this is the way we can achieve the common functionality. Basically, using this particular abstract here, the what I can do. So instead of using the same information into the multiple classes, so what we are doing here, we are going to define in the only one place. We are going to reuse in the multiple location. So this is the way we can achieve this particular abstract here. Now back to here. What I am doing here, I'm trying to override the call me method, and I'm going to specify the some message call ABSB class call me method. Right. So this is the way we can implement we'll override the call me method. And now what I'm doing here, if we observe inside the main method, if I'm going to create we are going to have the default constructor here, and using abs dot call me, same way abs dot call me to. I'm going to call the to method. So we'll see what we can do here. So this particular call me method is override method is called, which is coming from this particular class, right? And whenever we are calling this particular call me to, so the method is not available in the particular implementation class call, this particular abstract class, where it is available in the abstract class here. This method is executing here. So same way we can observe, if we want to use the same functionality of this particular method for all the classes, so where the classes are extending this particular abstract class, we can use here. Basically, what is the advantage we are going to get here? Even though we are creating the subclass reference, using the subclass reference, we are able to call the superclass method. The superclass method. Getting the point. So this is one of the feature we are going to get using this particular abstract here. Any questions regarding this? Okay. So we'll try to go for the previous example, what we have discussed here, something called the figure class here. So inside the figure class, what I'm going to do, so instead of defining this particular area method, I want to create something like, I want to create this particular method, something like this. Now you can see, so remove the abstract modifier or make as this particular class as a abstract. Now I'm making this particular class as a abstract here. Getting the point. So what exactly we can do? So we are going to override in the two subclasses here. What are the two subclasses? One is the rectangle and one more is the triangle class. We are going to override this method. And even though, okay, so what is the error we are getting here? Whenever we are trying to extend from the particular abstract class, so we have to be override the particular abstract method here. Right. Let me override the particular method here. What I can do, I will copy this. Right. Now, again, I'm going to use okay, let me create all the classes here. So here I want to specify one information that is called. So I'm going to save this particular class. So initially we are not going to get any error, but now we are getting an error here. So we'll try to identify why we are getting this error. So basically what is showing here, we cannot create an object of this particular type called figure. Getting the point. This particular figure having abstract features here. So abstract features is nothing but all the like information which we added in the particular figure class. So not yet implemented 100%. So we are having some of the partial implementation here. So because of that, we cannot create an object of this particular class. So now what we can do, we'll create an object of this particular subclasses of this particular figure class. So using that, we can achieve the calling the method here. Now, what I will do, I'm going to close this, and directly we cannot call these two. Directly, we cannot call this particular two information here. Only But make sure, so we cannot create an object of this particular figure, but we can use the reference of this particular class here. We can use the reference here. Now, if I'm going to run the same example, how exactly it's going to print here? Now, so one is the rectangle we are getting, one more is the triangle here. So this is the way also we can achieve the abstract information here. Right. And this is all about the abstract related example. We'll check with the one more something called the final related example here. Basically, whenever we are trying to define the final keyword here at the method level, what exactly we are going to have here? The method cannot be override into the any subclass here. The final methods cannot be override into the subclass method. So we'll try to see the simple example where we implemented here. Yeah. So if I'm going to make this particular method as a final, now you can observe we are getting this particular error here. So cannot override the final method from the constructor A class. Getting the point. So whenever inside the method overriding concept here, so if we want to override the some of the specific method, now what we can do, we'll create this particular final keyword at the method level. So this particular method is not going to override into the subclass. Getting the point. So this is also very important here. And if we are not providing this method, we can have an option to override the same method into the subclass, something called the method overriding we can achieve here. How we can restrict here? Using this particular final keyword, we can restrict the method overriding here. So this is I want to provide here. And basically, so whenever we are trying to extend any class, I don't want to extend any class here. Getting the point. So how we can restrict this particular extending information here? How we can restrict this particular extending keyword here? So if you observe, if I'm going to make this particular constructor A as a final, you can observe here the two classes we are getting an error here. Why we are getting here? You can see the type of constructor B cannot be subclass of the final class. So what you are understanding here? The final class cannot be inherited to the any subclasses here. Getting the point. So this is also very important here. And if you want to restrict any inheritance at the class level, we can make the final keyword at the class level. And if you want to make any the same restriction into the method level, what we can do, we'll create the final keyword at the method level. So this is very important here. And now, so whenever we are trying to extend any class, we are discussing as here superclass information. But here, so the constructor be having the superclass called constructor A, right? And if I'm going to use this particular constructor A, what is the superclass of this particular constructor A? What is the superclass of this particular constructor A? By default, whenever we are going to create any class, these classes are extending from the class called object. So this is the main class. So all the classes are going to extend from this particular object class here. Right. So we'll try to see what are the methods are available in the particular object class. So whatever the methods we're having in the object class, so all the method we can access into the any other class. So simple method. If we want to see the method, what we can do, we'll create a we are having the shortcut class control O. If we want to find any method, we'll try to focus on the control O. So we are going to find the method related information. Here we need to specify the name of the method. First I am going to specify the clone method. So what is good doing this particular clone method is nothing but if we want to copy one object into the another object. So what we are going to do, we are going to call this particular clone method. So this clone method is available in the which class? Something called object class. And along with this we are going to have equals method. So what we are going to do using this particular equals method, we are going to compare the current object into the whatever the object we are going to pass here. object references are going to identified here. Right. Now, so this is the purpose of the equals method. We are going to have finalize here. Basically, what it will do, this particular finalize method is going to, this particular finalize method is not available from the 9 version. So later we'll see. Basically, the finalize method, what it will do, if the object is not used at anywhere, the particular object reference is not pointing to the any object, what will happen here? So the objects are going to collected by the garbage collector. So that is the information we are going to achieve from this particular finalize method. Getting the point. And if we want to find out the hash code of this particular class, we are going to have the hash code method. Now you can see the hash code is returning integer value. This is the hash code method is returning this particular integer value where it is. So this is the hash code. Getting the point. So we'll see when we are going to discuss the collection related example, we are going to have the more information how exactly the hash codes or equals methods are going to work here. And after that, and notify and notify are also available in the particular object class. And these two methods we'll try to discuss when we are going to discuss with the multi-threading example. Multi-threading example we are going to discuss here. And along with this, we are going to discuss within the same multi-threading concept, wait related example. So these are the overloading methods are available. Wait. Oh, this method also we'll see when we are going to discuss multi-threading related information. And after that, the final one called toString. So what exactly the toString here implemented? Something called by default toString method, get class and get name, and so some information, some hash code based on the hash code we are going to get. And we'll see how we can override this particular toString method to provide the proper output of the object class. Sorry, not object class, whatever the class we are going to create in our class. Getting the point. So we'll try to recheck one more time this particular toString. And so equals and hash code method we are going to discuss in the collections, and the remaining methods we are going to discuss in the multi-threaded concept. But make sure what are the methods are available in the object class. So this is also very important here. Getting the point. So try to focus again, go to this particular object class and try to focus on the what are exactly the methods are performing here. So to find out the class information, now what we can do, click on the Control Shift to T. So we are having the differences here, Control Shift T. So it's going to load from the classes which are available in the jars. And we are having the one more here shortcut called Control Shift to R. So here you can see open resource, open type. This particular open resource is going to provide the information from the class path. The class path information. Inside the class path, whatever the classes are available, if I'm going to search the same object, I'm not going to found. Getting the point. So you can see I'm not going to found any object. If I'm going to search the same object here, that is already identified here, I'm going to find the object class information here. So that is the difference between resource and type here. Okay. Now we'll try to check with the packages and interfaces here. As of now, we discussed the abstract classes and final keyword we discussed here. Later, now we are moving into the packages here. So basically, what is the advantage we are going to get whenever we are discussing with the packages here? Basically, and now I want to share information, something called, so this is the name I want to use in the for other cases also, something called constructor here. I want to use the same name for the other classes. Can we use the same name if I'm going to create? So I cannot create the same name here. You can observe here the type already existed here. So I cannot create the one more name for the same class. Getting the point. So how we can achieve these kind of problems here? Basically, using these particular packages, what exactly we are going to do? We are going to create some name of the package here, something called Java technology. Now you can observe here, we are able to use the constructor A class. We are able to use this particular constructor class. So along with this information, using the packages, we are going to identify where exactly this class is resides and what is the use of this particular class, and we are going to provide the unique name of the particular packages name. Getting the point? Right. So now we'll try to check with how exactly we can achieve this packages information. And to create these particular packages, what we are going to do here, you can observe here, if you check any other classes, we are not going to find any the package information here. And only the constructor A class having packages. So to create the package, this is the way we are going to use the keyword called package, and we are going to specify the package name, something like in the real-time applications also we are going to work with the same like something called the com dot some, based on the some com only all the applications are starting, but some may not start with the com also, but make sure we need to identify how exactly it's going to start. And if I'm going to see this particular class where it exactly it resides, so you can see internally it's going to create a folder such as internally is going to create the folder structure of this particular class. You can observe, so inside the source directory, okay, so it's taking some time to load. You can observe here, so up to these are the classes we don't have any package information. All the classes are available in the source directory, but whenever I'm creating one class using the packages, you can observe com dot java technology dot the constructor A. Getting the point? So this is the way internally the folder structure is going to created. So and to understand the very more convenient way, we are going to create the this particular packages information here. And here, so package is the first state of the any class. So we need to specify the package information as a first executable statement. And later, what we are going to do, we are going to create the import also. So we'll see the import information in our tomorrow class, how exactly the import is going to work here. So any questions regarding what we have discussed as of now? So using this particular packages only, the remaining access modifier we are like we pended something called the protected and default one. We are going to discuss whenever like from the tomorrow onwards we are going to discuss the access types, the remaining two access types here. Okay. So if we don't have any questions, I'm going to conclude the today class and we'll see tomorrow the packages information.